Now at 5:30, breaking news in Nob Hill. Flames shoot out of a condo complex still under development. This is at Carlisle and Central.
You can see all of the smoke billowing out. We had people calling and tweeting us, asking us about this fire. So let's get out live to Erica Zuka with what she's seeing right now. Erica, what can you tell us?
Well, Rachel and Colton, I spoke with fire investigators just within the hour, and they tell me that it seems this fire inside of those luxury apartments may have started in multiple places. Want to give you a look at what we're seeing right now. You can see right there the ladder up. There has been water shooting out over the past hour, and you can see all of the smoke billowing. Really large flames earlier this morning. Want to give you a look at some video that viewers sent us at the peak of this fire. Firefighters say they responded overnight, and the fire was so out of control. They checked inside to see and make sure that there was no one in there. There wasn't. So then they focused on containing the fire, making sure it didn't spread to any other buildings, and they were successful in doing that. But they say the firefight will take a while this morning as they make sure that everything is safe. Want to give you a look at what the commander had to say this morning.
Building like this, very dangerous fire for us, and as you can see, there's some exposures. We had to displace a couple residents in the buildings that are adjacent to the primary fire exposure. And of course, this is a tragedy for the Nob Hill area.
And the Carlisle had been close to completion. Those are supposed to be luxury apartments, but at this point, firefighters say that there is major damage. So if they are going to want to get them up and running, there's going to be a lot of work to do in this area. Now, we will be following updates throughout the morning, and we'll bring them to you both live on air and online at KOB.com. Back to you.
Thank you, Erica. Well, breaking stories that are new this morning are always part of the Big Four to get you out the door.
And so are stories happening today, traffic and weather. And if you are traveling on this Wednesday, well, Cassandra has your forecast. Good morning, Cassandra.
Good morning, Rachel. Good morning, Colton. And yes, you're right. We have very comfortable, calm weather here in the land of enchantment, which means if you're driving around the state, you're not going to run into too many issues. Out the door this morning, the one issue you may feel, just the cold, a little bit of a frosty start. You may have some frost on your windshield, and we are about 5 to about 15 degrees colder in most locations around the state than we were yesterday at this time. Sitting at about 35 degrees right now in Albuquerque. Winds, they are calm. We are looking at a lot of 20s as we make our way north. The capital sitting at 29. We're at 21 right now in Grants and Gallup. Through the day, we are going to see temperatures rebound quite a bit. We'll have some sunshine as well. I'll have more details coming up.
Well, thousands of New Mexicans will start their Thanksgiving break today, and they're going to head to their weekend destinations.
And here's a look at the numbers. AAA estimates in the mountain range more people travel this year than last. 3 million people will hit the road. About 250,000 will fly. For the people flying out of the state, the Sunport advises travelers to get there at least 90 minutes before flight departure due to parking and security. Now, we told you about changes in acceptable identification from the Real ID Act, but the Sunport says that will not be affecting travel. Also, do not wrap gifts since they are subject to search. AAA says gas prices are the lowest since 2008, which is contributing to the higher number in travel. And in New Mexico, I should say, a gallon of regular gas costs $2.04. And if you are driving, please do not drive drunk or speed. You are putting everyone's lives at risk. Law enforcement agencies in northern New Mexico say that you will see more officers out there on the road to keep drivers safe out there.
Happening today, there is a court hearing for a man accused of child abuse. 35-year-old Julian Trujillo was arrested last month. He was taking care of 9-month-old Jaden, who was the son of a friend. While police say Trujillo dropped the kids off at a CVS where their mother worked. Jaden had his eyes rolled back and was not breathing. He was later taken off of life support.
We expect our kids to feel safe at a community center, but not everyone thinks about that. Yesterday, more than a dozen children were at the Wells Park Community Center when a man was shot and killed outside. The employees followed protocol to protect the kids. One neighbor is glad the kids are safe, but it's still scary. The suspect was on the run.
You hear about it every day that people are getting shot or hurt or this or that, but you don't expect it to happen right across the street.
Police have not identified the suspect or the victim.
25 Republican lawmakers want UNM to stop research involving fetal body parts that have come from abortions. According to the Albuquerque Journal, the lawmakers also requested in a letter that UNM stop the transfer of fetal body parts until administrators can prove they're not violating the law. UNM has not said if they would comply with the requests, but insisted it had not violated any laws. The former APS middle school teacher accused of inappropriately touching a student will go to trial in July. A grand jury indicted Kenneth Yali about a month ago on 10 different charges related to the alleged incidents. Last month, a judge released Yali on his own recognizance. Now, for the time being, Yali is permitted to live in Michigan to take care of his mother. He will have a second trial after the first. Now, he's facing other charges involving another juvenile.
Yet again, we are reporting another incident where a police officer was shot on the job. In Michigan, a Wayne State University police officer is in critical condition after he was shot in the head. 29-year-old Colin Rose works in the K-9 unit. Police say that he has a, quote, long road ahead. He was checking out a possible theft when he was shot, and the suspect is in custody. It's sad that our nation has seen so many police officers shot in recent days. We asked APD if it's considering pairing up officers as a way to increase their safety. APD officers had paired up back in July after the Dallas police shootings, but the department tells us not this time. They say officers have a team approach to certain calls, and they will continue working together to keep each other safe.
There is unimaginable sadness for parents in Tennessee who lost their kids in a bus crash on Monday. Last night, people in Chattanooga released balloons at a vigil honoring the 5 kids who died. Diamond Brown says her 6-year-old son did not survive the crash. She wants the driver to be held accountable, who is now charged with vehicular homicide.
I will be in every court hearing. I will be there front and center, grieving and all. I will be there because that was my only child that he took from me.
6 kids are still in critical condition, and that crash is still under investigation. Police believe that speed is a strong factor.
An Albuquerque business is refusing to work with Donald Trump supporters. Matthew Blanchfield runs First in SEO. It's an internet marketing company. He said losing customers is not as important as morality and justice.
I believe that I have a moral obligation as a citizen of the United States and as a person of principle to stand up for what I think is right and stand up against injustice.
All Americans.
Blanchfield has no guess as to how many clients he might lose doing this, but as of yesterday, he said one had left.
The Associated Press is reporting UNM Regents have voted to not change the school seal, at least for now. Just last week, Regents decided to look into what it would cost to change that seal. Some students say it's offensive, that it glorifies violent treatment of Native Americans by Europeans. Others oppose removing the conquistador from the seal, saying it represents the state's Hispanic heritage.
Happening today, Joy Junction is holding its annual Thanksgiving meal service. Inmates from the Central New Mexico Correctional Facility will be serving meals to the homeless. The event is at the Albuquerque Convention Center, and that'll be at 11 in the morning.
It's going to be pretty chilly out there for them too, right?
Yeah, it is. I was looking at the cold numbers. I am late, but we are
No, you're just trying to copy Steve.
Yeah, I'm
He's
pulling
rubbing
a
up on
Steve.
you.
No, I know. We are looking at 20s, 30s out the door this morning. Frost on your windshield. Yeah, that's the kind of morning we have for our Thanksgiving Eve start. It's 35 degrees in Albuquerque. Very, very clear skies. We take you out and about over towards the west in Grants, where it is much colder. We're looking at 22 degrees outside this morning. 20s, 30s for much of the state. A lot of locations below freezing. Even Roswell right now sitting right at that freezing mark, right at 32 degrees. So most of us are about 5 to 15 degrees colder than we were yesterday morning. Yesterday, the big difference was we had the clouds still holding on. This morning, we don't have the clouds, so we don't have that blanket to essentially keep us a little bit warmer through the overnight. And we're going to see a lot of sunshine as we go through the day. The clear skies will continue, and coming with that, pretty mild temperatures. But high pressure is going to move in today. The next couple of days, that's going to keep our skies on the quiet side all the way through the holiday and into this weekend as well. But take a look at these numbers for today. All the way through 9 o'clock, we're going to be sitting in the 30s. We'll eventually get into the 40s and 50s closer towards lunchtime. But Santa Fe is going to be colder through the 7 o'clock hour into the 20s with 30s at 9 o'clock and 45 degrees closer towards 11. Now, our high today in the capital will get to about 53 degrees. We'll hit about 57 in Albuquerque with a lot of 50s and 60s on the map. Very seasonal for this time of year, and your Thanksgiving forecast looks just beautiful. We'll continue that sunshine, and we'll look for temperatures right at around 44 degrees at 10 o'clock. Stopping this time frame for you at noon, we'll sit at about 50 degrees. Climbing through the afternoon, we'll eventually hit about 54 degrees, but 5 o'clock around dinner time, 51 degrees, with temperatures dipping into the 40s and eventually, again, the 30s through the overnight as we head through our evening hours. But for the south and east, 50 50s and 60s for much of the region. Clovis today, 59 degrees, 60 in Roswell and in Portales. More sunshine and warmer for Roswell tomorrow. We'll be just a few degrees shy of 70 degrees. More sunshine and then cooler for Friday, highs near 57. A nice fall day with 50s and 60s, 60 in TRC and in Silver City, 66 in Deming this afternoon. More sunshine for the Four Corners, climbing to 56 in Gallup and in Grants and hitting 50 degrees in Cuba. The 7-day forecast holding plenty of sunshine over the next few days, lasting all the way into the weekend with highs in the 40s and 50s, but some changes early next week. Colder temperatures, more clouds and the chance for some rain. Mostly sunny and cool for the Northeast today, 55 for Las Vegas, 52 for Mora, some 60s in Santa Rosa and in Tucumcari. No 60s near the capital. We'll only hit about 53 degrees today, but we will have a lot of sunshine. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, more sunshine as well. We'll have a few more clouds towards the end of the weekend and next week. Sunny and quite nice for the East Mountains, 56 for Edgewood, 55 in Moriarty. We'll have a few 60s for Belen and Los Lunas, but the metro ranging from about 56 to 59 degrees, and the 7-day forecast keeping the sunshine abundant over the next couple of days.
Traffic Watch, brought to you by Bank of the West.
All right, 5:40. Want to take a look at traffic around the metro. First up, let's start off with Waze. Do want to let you know because of that fire, Erica Zuko has been keeping you updated on Central at Carlisle. That's closed off at this time. Not seeing any traffic on Waze, any red, I should say, but just want to let you know that is closed off. Taking a live look right here at I-40 at Washington, you can see traffic picking up just a pinch as we get closer to 6 o'clock, but no slowdowns. Not going to see any of that until we get closer to 7. We showed you a man getting his hand stuck in a trap on the Sandias. What we've learned about that trap that violates the law.